Καλησπέρα σας, καλοί φίλοι τηλεθεατές. Καλώς ορίσατε στην εκπομπή μας Faces, πρόσωπα. Να είμαστε λοιπόν και πάλι μαζί, είναι Κυριακή, η τακτική μας ώρα και σήμερα να μου επιτρέψετε να μιλήσω λίγο στα αγγλικά, ίσως και στα ελληνικά λίγο πιο ύστερα, όμως I have to turn to English. My guest is LENNIE VARVARIDES, Varvaridis, με συγχωρείτε. LENNIE VARVARIDES. And your father is an actor.
He was,
yes,
yeah.
he was an actor. I remember when he was working in Theater Technis.
Yeah.
Yes. And you started in Theater Technis, yes?
I didn't start there, but I have worked there with George when I
Yes.
was younger. I've done a few plays with George.
Quite a few years, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, okay, can we just have a little bit of your background? I mean, just who you are, actually.
Yeah.
You're born in London, okay, from a Greek Cypriot family, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, give me more details about your school days and university and how you get involved in acting and in theatre.
Okay. I think I was always interested in the make-believe world. I was always writing short stories and always talking to my toys from a very young age. Like I knew that I liked this way of communicating, this way of telling stories. Okay. So I think it was very much a natural progression, even through nursery and primary school. I always liked performing, but not only performing, creating the story that I would then perform. So it started like this, you know, show and tell. You write a poem, you perform the poem, you write a short story, you act the story out. And then it was a hobby. I never really thought I'd make a career out of it. It's just something that you do, you enjoy doing it. And I used to go to drama school on a weekend, like lots of children, and you just do it like a hobby. And then I took my GCSEs and A-levels in art and in drama. And but when I wanted to do my degree, I didn't want to do acting. I wanted to do visual arts. Okay. And then I learnt about something called performance arts, which is a bit more experimental, where you mix visual arts and text and image, and you kind of mix all the mediums together to create a piece of installation or a piece of theatre. And I really felt quite free in art school making work this way. So after that, I went travelling, went to America, and I started a drama group in America where I would create things and then find actors and we'd put them on. And a friend said to me that if you're really serious about making theatre, you should go back and maybe do a master's in writing, because that way people will take you more seriously, they'll accept you more as a writer. This I don't agree with, actually, but I did take the advice. Yes. I went to Central, I took my master's, but I don't feel that any education that I've done has helped me do what I'm doing now. I think the thing that's been the pivotal learning curve for me was watching my parents be entrepreneurs and watching them make something out of nothing every time they set up a business.
Actually, talking about education, this business, like art, any art, you have to have the talent before you educate yourself. You understand? Yeah. I mean, you educating yourself just to get more information, how to go about it. Yeah. But without the talent, you can do nothing. Yeah. Don't you agree with that?
I kind of feel that going to university sometimes kills your talent, because they make you do so many other things that you might not even be interested in doing. And you don't know. Yes. So, I mean, I had a conversation with, I also run a talent agency, and I had a mother call me the other day saying to me, oh, I don't know what to say to my daughter. I don't want her to start acting. She's too young. I want her to focus on her school. And then maybe, you know, you guys can meet later on and have a conversation about representation.
What was your advice about it?
I said to her, she's only 15. Who cares if she fails her GCSEs? She can do them again. If she doesn't like school, why are you forcing her to go down that route? That isn't the only way for children to make something of themselves. And I think too much pressure is put on education and making people have a qualification. I've got so many qualifications. Never have I been asked to show them in any job interview.
Use them, yes.
No, right, and they're only for other people. That's what I've realised about education. So parents and grandparents can say, oh, το παιδί μου σπούδασε.
That's all right. I agree with you 100%, yes. And you're not following your your dreams.
Yeah.
You know.
And
But,
we're only here for a short time. Why do we put so much pressure on children to spend so long in school doing exams? Exams aren't for everyone. It doesn't mean that you're intelligent if you take exams. It just means that you can retain a lot of information.
Exactly, yes, that's right. You are just, putting the information somewhere, you store the information there, and if you need it, you just use it. So you worked in the theater business for quite a bit of time, because I saw you, in theater techniques and all this kind of thing. And then you get involved in this, dyslexic organization. You formed this, you created. Give us more information.
So when I graduated from Central, School of Speech and Drama, we had to present our MA piece through a company. We had to set up a company to present our work.
Okay.
So I set up Misfits in my last year of my master's, and the year after I graduated, they said, it's really important that you keep making work. Like, you've done your master's, you're a practitioner now, you have to keep active. So in 2006, I set up a writers' festival called The Right Side of the Brain. And I was thinking, there's so many festivals for writers, like this is just another one. What can I do, with my skills
to make it different?
So the following year, I set up a festival just for dyslexic writers. I was really interested to see if there were other people that struggled in school, that didn't like school, that had dyslexia, that the education system wasn't for them, that really loved writing, because you associate people with dyslexia as people that don't like reading, that don't like writing. And this is a myth.
Yes.
Because a lot of dyslexic people are very imaginative. They're very good at creating other worlds and living in them. And being really good entrepreneurs. Some people find themselves on the wrong side of the tracks because they get out of school early because it's not for them and they go down the wrong path. And some people get out of school and they create their own path.
What is the main problem for these people? If you have dyslexia, you're not good at following rules. So if someone says to you, you need to do something like this, and this is the system that I want you to follow, A, they might not remember the system, and B, they might have a rebellious spirit. They don't want to do it that way. They want to see if there's another way to do something. And I think this is quite an interesting characteristic about people that have dyslexia, that they are a rebellious spirit. Yes.
And they do want to find their own way of doing things. And this is the special ingredient, I think, for people that become entrepreneurs, because they don't fit in a system. The way that they don't fit in school, they don't fit in working for another person within the corporate sector.
That's why your thoughts went that way when they told you that you have to do this and that, but you follow your thoughts and you decided to go your way, yes?
Well, I followed the rules, like I said earlier, I've got my GCSEs, my A-levels, my BTEC, my degree, my Masters, my diploma in business management.
End of the day,
I did it all, but who was I doing it for? I did it because I thought I had to do it.
Yes,
if we were encouraging children to experience school in a new way, that you get out of school what you need, and everything that doesn't work for you, forget about it and let's find another way to educate. If children really had options to learn in another way, maybe through more a vocational journey, then I think people would be, they'd find their talent a lot quicker. Because they wouldn't be trying to be someone else, following a system that you waste so much time in education. I've spent years in education. If you think from GCSEs to your masters, that's a long time to be trying to educate yourself.
Okay, so, give me more information about this organization. How you get? I mean, you get good response and all this. I mean.
Yeah, the first festival was in 2007. It was called Dyslexic, and we put it on at Barons Court Theatre, which is in Barons Court in central London. And And it was the first of its kind, you know, there was nothing else like that. They were focusing back then on the problem of dyslexia. How do you cure the problem of dyslexia? Yes. And I was interested in how can we celebrate the gift of dyslexia, the idea that it's our dyslexia that gives us our imagination.
Freedom. It gives freedom as well,
freedom of thought. I like the way that you said it before, like a freedom of thought. And this was very exciting for me. And I remember putting out calls for writers, and the response was really, I felt very confident with the response. There was a lot of support, a lot of interest. And the festival has been going every year since. This year, last year was actually the first year since 2007 that we didn't produce a festival. That was because I've just had my daughter and I was focusing on other jobs. But this year is an exciting time because it's the first time that we're making the work of dyslexic writers, but not through the medium of theatre, but through a new medium of film, which is a new thing for us, that we're actually branching out now and not only making theatre, but also
let's talk about the film now.
Okay.
I mean, how the idea came about. You want to do it in a different way. You want to create something different.
Yeah.
So how you get together with people that you want to work with?
Yeah. A friend of mine who is also a director and a writer, Chrysanthi Khori, she's from Greece. She is part of a writers group, and she invited me to come to a presentation that one of the writers was doing a couple of months ago. And I went to the presentation, and there was a man there called Dean Stallam who was talking about how art had saved his life. He came from the wrong side of the tracks. He's a great example of what happens when you leave school at a really young age. You don't have the support that you need to get into a traditional line of work. Okay. So you use your imagination to create your own way in life. So he's a very colourful character that found new ways of making a living.
So he went into the arts.
He went into prison, actually. He went to prison because I don't see there's a big difference between a criminal and an entrepreneur. Like, they're two people using their wits to create a livelihood. Obviously, there's a stigma towards criminals. We don't want to be robbed, we don't want to be conned. But at the end of the day, they are businessmen. And sometimes they're good businessmen and they don't get caught, and sometimes they're bad businessmen and they do get caught.
Make me think about, sorry to just get out of the subject, but make me think about Cyprus. What's happening now in Cyprus? I mean, everybody is a con, and nobody was getting caught, but now everything is coming out.
Yeah.
I agree with you
100%. It's not politically correct to see it this way, but if we see everything as a character, and everything that happens to us is part of a bigger story, you could say that he is a character that didn't have he didn't come from the social background where he was supported. He came from a tradition of using your wits to make a living. Okay. He was even encouraged to drop out of school because it wasn't for him. Yeah. So when I met Dean Stallam, he was talking about how he turned his life around after leaving prison, and how art was really the thing that helped him not go back to that way, to that lifestyle.
So he went into the drama school.
He started becoming he started exploring his talent as an artist, as a playwright, as a theatre producer. Like, he's quite an amazing he's an amazing man. And when I first met him, I said to him, "Are you dyslexic?" And he said, "No, I'm not dyslexic." And I was like,
But he was.
But he was, and he didn't know it. He didn't know it. And I said to him, I really love what you're doing. I really want to talk to you. I'm running a festival where I support dyslexic writers. If you find out that you are dyslexic, then, let's talk. So I think he was really interested in what I was doing. I think he was interested as a writer in what we were doing, what Kaz and I were doing. And he set up a meeting. He came to a meeting and he started asking me questions about what it's like to be dyslexic. What are the traits? How did I know that I was dyslexic? What problems did I have in school? And after like 2 hours of talking like this, he went away, and then the next day he called me and he said, "Can I have another meeting with you? Like, I want you to meet someone else that I'm working with." And then he brings in another guy that runs a magazine for people in and out of prison called Not Shut Up, and they promote and produce and publish the work of former prisoners that want to get into the arts. And the chap's name is Marek, and Marek turns around and says to Dean, I thought you were dyslexic. I just assumed you were dyslexic. So everyone around him could see that he had the traits.
Yes, yes.
But because he left school at 15, he just thought...
He didn't realize.
Yeah, he didn't realize, and it was never a problem because he was creating his own way in the world.
Okay.
But then after we spoke, he was like, you know what, I think I am dyslexic. And he, in a way, we self-diagnosed him. But he's a 50-year-old man, and a lot of men in that generation, they never had the opportunity to be assessed.
To find out, yes, yeah. So the film is about his life, actually. It's part of his life.
It's based on and in the video when we show it later on, it's based on a world that he knows very well. Like I said earlier, you know, he has a very colourful past. He knows a lot of colourful people. So it's based on people that he's known in his life. But the key thing about this is that the key trigger in the conversation that he and I had was the question, do working class dyslexics end up in prison and middle class dyslexics end up in art school? And I was interested in a social aspect of exploring this idea. And he started thinking about this statement, and I think he then put his whole life into context, the people that he knew, the things that he'd done, everything started to have some kind of framework, because you can pinpoint your life by the decisions that you make and the reasons you make those decisions, and the lack of opportunities being the factor in why you may or may not make a certain choice in your life. And I think this is very interesting, the idea of choice. You know, everyone talks about free will, but no one really discusses the fact that some people don't have the same options because of their social
free
background.
And express themselves and in their way.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, this is going to be filmed very soon.
Yeah.
And it's a short film, actually.
A short film, yeah.
And you're gonna show it in festivals?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the film. So it's a very low budget. We recently ran a Kickstarter campaign, and our Kickstarter ended on Monday, and we went over our target. Our target was £3,000,
Wow.
and we raised £3,411.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So we're really pleased about that. It was the first time we've fundraised using crowdfunding, and it was very exciting. And I feel like I've learned a lot about fundraising in this way. So the whole point of the film is people know us as theatre producers. No one really knows us as film producers and film directors.
Yes.
So in a way, this piece is our signature piece that we're going to use to try and launch our career as filmmakers. So it's only for the purpose of going into film festivals.
Yeah, it's a promotional film. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have your actors and you have your locations and all this, and you have your budget. You started very soon, and when are you going to finish? When do you think?
We start filming on the 24th of January, and we finish on the 1st of February. So very, very soon, and we're planning to have the first screening by mid-March. We'd like to have the screening out and then start putting it into festivals by the summer.
Tell me a little bit more about your agency. Do you have plenty of people in your agency?
So the festival is the Love Project, but the day job is a talent agency. I run a talent agency called MSFT Management, and we've got about 40 clients on our books. The agency's been running since 2011, so every year it gets more popular. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We've got quite a strong following. I think we've got over 3,000 likers on Facebook and over 4,000 likers on Twitter. So we've got a really good social media platform, a really strong brand awareness.
Are your artists managed to get, good jobs?
Yeah, most of our clients are being submitted for commercials, for feature films, stage work, corporate work. We try to get them in TV as well, but it is a lot harder to get people seen for TV unless you already have a profile. But we have got we've had a couple of clients in a show called 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. So we've had 3 of our clients in that show, which is quite exciting. And then at the moment, I'm also working on a feature film called Genesis, which I start working on next month. And
I'm writing it, or
I'm helping with the casting for that.
Casting, yeah.
And then I'm also casting for another program that's going to be on the Yesterday channel. So it's not only an agency; I also do casting,
and the casting as well. Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. Shall we just see?
Yeah.
You know, it's about 4 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
this,
4 or 5 minutes.
Trailer, and then we talk
Okay.
for maybe future plans on this kind of thing. Okay, let's go and see this trailer, please.
Dyspla, the new word for dyslexic storymakers. The word that stands up for the untold stories you are yet to write and develops the stories you have written. The word that encourages you to dream, turning one script at a time into a new culture-shifting conversation, putting dyslexics and their work into the public sphere, making you the contender.
So when I come in for the first meeting with you, you told me of this unbelievable headline about middle-class dyslexics go to art school, working-class dyslexics go to prison. So I picked up the pen and cracked on with a story that is very close to my heart, because I can only write about stuff that I've either experienced or has been very close to me. The thing with Bueno Key is that it's about a couple, a man and a woman, who are entrapped by the evil drug that is cocaine. As a former addict myself, I know the emotional and the physical turmoil that it causes in your life. And that if you are in its stranglehold, you have to find a way to get out of it by any means whatsoever. This particular couple find a way out through art.
Bueno Key is a short film about people trapped in a world of addiction, an ugly world of drug dealing, of drug taking, and of risking it all on the horses.
Because I was in a position where I was trapped. I had a big house. I had a glamorous girlfriend. I had children to feed. I was making plenty of money, and I was addicted to cocaine. And I had no one to turn to, because everyone else was on it. You know, it was so every day. I was literally waking up and having it for breakfast, and you know, and I had no way out, no one to turn to.
Written by dyslexic writer and artist Dean Stallam, Bueno Key is a powerful story about how we must sacrifice all that we know to become all that we can be.
And I used to look through the stage paper like it was a dream. I used to love looking at it and seeing all the... And I saw a small ad in the back. You know, change your life, you know, ring up today.
The writer and Dyspla believe passionately that art can change lives and that real opportunities lie in giving people work. We have made good on this statement by casting a dyslexic non-actor to play the lead role in Bueno Key. He will use his life experience to emotionally drive his performance. Dyspla fancies itself a rebel, believing that dyslexics are the most exciting story makers. Support our work. Be part of Dyspla. Be part of the neurodiverse revolution.
Middle-class dyslexics go to art school, working-class dyslexics go to prison. So you told me about that headline, and it really hit home to me, because, you know, in prisons, you know, you get paid £7.50 a week to sweep the landings, and you get £5 a week to go to education. Now, the £2.50 difference is the equivalent to 6 Mars bars. Well, Mars bars aren't just to eat in prison. Mars bars pays for your washing. Mars bars pays for some extra milk. Mars bar pays for a bit of chicken. It's money. So the men are clambering to be cleaners because they want education. Where's that going to get me? Where's it going to get me when I get out? I've just got to go back to the same housing estate, the same this, the same that. So that headline's pretty spot on, really. Yeah. And that's a sad fact. And it's all about opportunities and choices and not having them. And in the world I come from, it's yes or no. Yes or no. If you say yes, you climb. If you say no, you fall down. But you still live on the same estate. So you're the one driving in your flash car, and he's the one breaking in the car. Because all the no's, that's where all the no's end up. All the no's end up on heroin. And doing that kind of thing, and all the yeses end up doing cocaine, drinking champagne. But you always end up the same place, in prison. So it's the only place that society can put you. And when they do, they don't do it to help you. They don't want to help you when you're in there.
That's nice. We get an idea what it's all about. So, any other future plans? I mean,
yes, something that's very, very exciting is that we're going to start working with prisoners from Wandsworth Prison. So Kaz and I are going to go, excuse me, we're going to go into Wandsworth Prison from around the end of January. We're going to start going in 1 day a week on a Tuesday, interviewing the prisoners, only dyslexic prisoners. There's about 20 dyslexic prisoners that want to take part in our program. And they are going to answer the question, how I lost my freedom. And we're going to begin like interview diaries of how they... Very interesting, yeah. Yes. In itself, it's going to be an amazing documentary, but the finished product, what we're trying to do is create between 6 and 12 short films, short monologue films, where the prisoner is the voiceover within the film, and everything else is found footage that we're going to film outside of the prison with their voiceover. So it's kind of like a poetic short film or a monologue film.
It might be have the conclusion, what's happening to the prisoner after when, what's going to happen when they come out, and what plans they have and all this kind of thing. Yes.
Well, what I'd like to do with any prisoners that show a keen interest in the arts, that
might be help them.
Exactly. So if they, for example, they might show promise as an actor, we would then help them try to begin their career.
That's good.
And yeah, I think it may work, it may not work. We might go in every week and the prisoners might not want to speak with us. Yeah. It could, at this point, I've never done anything like this before, so I am nervous because I don't know how it's going to be received.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very interesting subject.
Yeah.
It is.
It goes back to the idea of opportunities, and in the video, Dean Stalin mentions it. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, how Greek are you?
Both my parents are Greek, Cypriot. I was born here, and I think like most British-born Cypriots, you almost feel like the language doesn't belong to you, so you're scared to speak Greek.
But you went to Greek school, or?
I did go to Greek school, but I wasn't a very good student. So I understand better than I speak. And
do you have any sisters, brothers? Or?
Yeah, I've got a younger sister who's a journalist who's currently in Cyprus at the moment. She's doing an interview about the Turkish side and how my grandmother lost her house, because my grandmother used to be from that side of Cyprus, Gerinia. So they're doing a video documentary about my grandmother going back to seeing her old house. So that's a very interesting story.
Definitely,
you should definitely, I'll get you two to speak about that, because she'd love to tell you about that.
I'll ask her to get in touch with me, and we're interested to give her an interview, show the documentary as well. That's very good. So, okay, with all this, I mean, we learn about how you started and how much you are helping all these people, you know, and the festival you create every year on this, and about the film you're, shooting very soon, and your future plans. And, what I have to say is just to wish you all the best. I mean, everything, I wish everything goes in your way, and be successful in what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to see the film.
Yes, me too. Hopefully in March. So we'll let you know.
Beautiful.
You can come at the premiere. You can be there.
Yes, definitely.
That'd be nice.
LENNIE VARVARIDES.
That's it.
Okay, and your father and mother is from, you know, the
Nicosia, Dali.
Nicosia. Dali, both of them?
Yeah. Well, my mum's mum was from Gerinya, but then everyone moved after the wars to Dali.
Beautiful. Okay, and with a child now, how you manage? I mean, is it easy for you?
It's not easy.
Because your husband is involved in this as well, you know?
I think that's the secret, that you find your soulmate that is in the same business as you, and then you share the responsibility.
Very good thing.
Yeah.
But you were talking about, I mean, when we decided to have this interview, you said to me, I want to talk about working mothers.
Yeah.
And you are a working mother.
Yeah.
How you find it? This is what I was going to ask you. I mean, how you find it? You have the child and all this. Do you have to, I mean, do you have enough time, free time to spend with your child? Or?
I don't, you never feel like you have enough time to spend with your kids. No matter what you do, someone said to me, no matter what you do, Lennie, you're always going to feel guilty that you're not doing enough for your child. So you always have that guilt.
Yes.
Sometimes I wish that I didn't have to work and I could just be with my child all the time. But then you're not really helping that child in the long run if you're not working, because then how do you then inspire them to want to grow up and work if the mother isn't working? And I think it's all about what the mother does. I think for girls, they look to their mothers for guidance on how to be a woman. And I always saw my mother being a strong, independent, hard-working woman, to some extent even more so than my father. Like, she felt like she had to hold the family together, and I think a lot of the time it is the women holding the families together. And if a woman can do that and work, then she's a superhero.
Definitely,
you know?
100%. You are a superhero. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for talking to us, and wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.
And being able to, you know, fulfill your dreams.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Good night.
Good night.
Αυτά, καλοί μου φίλοι τηλεθεατές. Σας ευχαριστώ που μείνατε και σήμερα μαζί μας. Θα είμαστε και πάλι μαζί την ερχόμενη Κυριακή, την ίδια ώρα. Μην ξεχάσετε να είστε μαζί μας με ένα καινούργιο πρόσωπο ή πρόσωπα. Μέχρι τότε, να προσέχετε τους εαυτούς σας. Καληνύχτα.
Καληνύχτα.